Good evening. Units of the South African Defence Force carried out raids on ANC targets in Gaborone, Botswana today.
General Viljoen told the news conference that the death toll included 3 trained women terrorists, while 2 unidentified persons who fired on the South Africans from a vehicle might also have been killed. 1 woman and 2 children were injured in the crossfire.
At 4 o'clock that very afternoon, after they were killed, I opened the TV. They used to have news at 4 o'clock. At 6 o'clock I did the same, at 7 the same, and all the time they were showing the same pictures in Botswana of his bed, the 1 bedroom full of blood where they were lying, and the TV shattered and so on, and things just thrown all over, and the cars damaged in the yard. And then I phoned Botswana, and there was nobody to reply the phone at his house. And then I just told the father that I think they're gone.
Most white South Africans were very proud of these actions of the Defence Force. But for Hilda Pathle, it was her worst nightmare come true. Her son George lived in Gaborone. George's brother Levi watched his family being killed by SADF Special Forces commandos.
Levi watched from under the bed. He was hiding when he saw them killing the brother and the wife. And he heard them when one said, do it, and the other one said, Morse, do it. Levi says from the time they got out of the Kumbi, it was that George, you must dear, you must dare, magdi dear op, magdi what dear op, and so on. So they knew where they going, who they were going to kill there. They knew it was George.
George Pathle had worked as a courier for the ANC underground in Botswana. But the SADF raid was by no means as surgical as the SADF claimed. In his recent court case, the former commander of Vlakplaas, Eugene de Kock, testified that the commandos involved in the raid were not able to bring back any evidence that those they killed had in fact been ANC members. They found no weapons or ANC literature in the houses they attacked. The sophisticated night sight for a RPG-7 rocket launcher that they displayed to the media had in fact been Eugene de Kock's farewell gift from Kufut, and the 2 hand grenades they produced were also on loan from the Vlakplaas arsenal.
Well, Botswana was never a training area. Most of the training was done in Angola and in Zambia. Botswana was a conduit, I would say, where people, when they pass coming from Zambia, they pass through Botswana, but without the Botswana government's knowledge. We had to do these things. We had no other alternative because the war was not waged in Zambia, it was not waged in Botswana, but it was waged inside the country. And so we had to find ways of infiltrating these people, our trained cadres from Botswana, our trained cadres from Zambia into Botswana, and from Botswana they would hide them in different houses in Botswana and send them into the country.
Botswana was a crucial country for the ANC's armed struggle, but living there was extremely dangerous. In 1986, the SADF again attacked Gaborone.
In the early hours of this morning, strike aircraft and helicopters of the South African Air Force, as well as a ground unit, attacked ANC facilities in Harare, Lusaka and Gaborone.
Ons het 2 teikens in Zimbabwe aangeval en 1 in Gaborone.
And behind this clinical news report lies yet another intricate web of deception and lies. The 1986 raid into Botswana had been triggered by the discovery of this huge arms cache near Krugersdorp. But it was not an ANC arms cache, as the generals claimed. Eugene de Kock says his Vlakplaas unit had in fact been asked to supply the weapons that were then planted. It was done in order for the SADF to justify their second attack on Gaborone. He says politicians like PW Botha and President PW Botha knew about this elaborate plan. During the raid, no weapons or literature was found in the houses that were attacked. In fact, a briefcase belonging to one of those killed in the raid and brought back to South Africa was found to belong to a deputy director of water affairs in the Botswana government. Eugene de Kock was then asked to provide 3 Makarov pistols, which were then planted in the briefcase before it was displayed to the media.
Well, we reacted with shock, but that's what we always expected, because we knew that we were dealing with a very brutal regime. And so all the time, our nerves would be up. We knew very well that anything would happen to us. And so if something has happened to our comrade, we knew that, of course, it was coming, but when? We kept on asking, when is it going to happen to me? And so that's how we used to live.
In 1988, the war came back to Gaborone. The SADF raid left people dead once again.
The 4 people killed in the raid were buried today.